Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video of the R Programming for Beginners series. Now in the last episode we learned about data types, that is numeric, character and logical data types. The difference between the integer values and double values, which are under numeric data types, and how to know the data types of variables that we declare in two different ways. And today we're taking it a step further and learning how to convert one data type into the other, which is something you'll use very often while working with data. So, without further ado, let's get into the first topic for this video, which is, as always, what is type conversion? So, as the first topic of today's video, let's understand what is type conversion. Type conversion is simply changing a value from one type to the other. For example, converting a character string like 42, which is wrapped inside quotes, that's how you know it's a character string, to a numeric value of 42. So we can do calculations with this value as well, which is the freshly converted value. Another example can be converting logical values like true into a character string like true. Since it is wrapped inside these quotes, it is a character string. Now, R gives us built-in functions to do this very easily, and by the end of this episode, you'll know exactly how and when to use them. So, the functions that we'll be learning today. There are three conversion functions that we'll be focusing on in this episode. Number one is as.numeric, which converts values into numbers. And next is as.character, which converts values into text. And then finally, number three, we have as.logical, which converts values into true or false. Now these three are enough for a beginner to work with almost any dataset. So let's first see how they work, and then we will execute the conversion functions in our very own R compiler. So, coding demonstration. First of all, let's convert a character into numeric. For that, we would need to use the as.numeric function. Suppose I have a variable called x and I have 42, a value of 42, which is a string value, as you can see from the double quotation, to assign to this x variable. Now if I convert as.numeric x, that is I convert this value into a numeric value, it converts the string value of 42 to the numeric value of 42. And if we check the data type of x using class, we'll be able to see that it converts into numeric value, and the output will be like this. So let's open up our very own compiler by going to coding.com. You don't have to open up RStudio for stuff like this. So to test out code, or if you want to test code on the go, you can just go to coding.com, head over to compiler, and we have multiple languages to choose from, and one of them is R. Now after we click on R, our compiler will open, and let me just increase the size of this website for you guys so that you can see properly. Now what we will do is we'll execute this same code and observe our output. So first of all, let's create a variable x and then assign it a string value of 42. Now when we do let's say print x, what will happen? You can see that it outputs to 42. But what will happen if we do as.numeric, that is converting this into a numeric value, and then x? Let's execute this, and you can see that a numeric value of 42 is outputted. Notice how before we had the quotes, and now inside the output we don't have any quotes, meaning that this value is converted. Now let's also do this. We'll find out the value of x, but also data type, and also we'll find out the data type of as.numeric and then inside x. So we'll run this. Now you can observe by this class function that when we try to find out the data type of x, it still returns characters, since originally it had a character data type. But when we convert this data type into numeric and then find out or let's say then execute the class function, numeric data type is returned, meaning that this holds a numeric data type. So that's how you convert a data type into numeric. You use as.numeric. So I hope that is clear for you guys. So after executing this as.numeric function inside our very own R compiler and observing the output, let's move on to another type of type conversion, which is converting the numeric data type into the character data type. And we can do that by using the as.character function. Now what this does is similar to as.numeric. This converts the numeric data type, which is represented by y, into a character data type. So if we have a numeric data called 99, when we use the as.character function, it will convert it into a character string, which is represented by quotes 99 and double quotes. So it will be the expected output. Let's try this inside our compiler as well. So when we move on to this, let's remove all of this, create a variable called y, and then assign it a value of 99, and then we will use as.character and then y, and what we'll do is we'll also print out the data type of as.character. So let's run this. You can see that first it will print out, okay, we'll also do print y. Now you can see that first of all, when we print y as it is, it outputs to a numeric data type, which is a value of 99. And after we do as.character and wrap it, or let's say put y inside the argument, it will output to a string value or a character data type. And when we use the class function to actually check the data type, it returns character. So we have successfully converted a numeric data type into a character data type. And now finally, we arrive at our final conversion, that is converting into logical. And the function that we'll be using to convert values into logical data types is as.logical. Now as I said, logical conversion works a bit differently. Here, 1 always becomes true. Next, 0 becomes false. And then the word true is also valid, since it is just the logical value of true. It is just wrapped inside double quotes. So if we try to convert a string value of true into a logical data type, it converts into the true value. But normal strings don't work. Hello will return an A, meaning that it doesn't, or let's say R doesn't understand how to convert it. Now let's try all of this inside our compiler as well, and we will arrive at our ending, that is common beginner mistakes that you guys might make. So first, let's go over to our compiler once again, and let's try to convert each and every value. So first we'll do as.logical 1, and let's see what it outputs to. You can see that it outputs to true. Let's do as.logical, logical 0, and let's see what it outputs to. You can see that it outputs to false. Now for the two values, we'll do as.logical, and then inside quotes we'll type out true, or let's say all caps true. Let's see what it outputs to. It outputs to true. But when we try to do okay, my bad, caps lock is on, as.logical, and then let's say hello world, what will happen? It will return an A value, meaning that R doesn't know how to convert this into a logical data type. So I hope logical conversion is clear to you guys as well. After discussing about logical type conversion as well, let's come to our final topic for the video, that is common beginner mistakes. It is very important to avoid these mistakes. So first of all is converting non-numeric values, or let's say non-numeric text, to numbers. So when we do as.numeric and we try to convert a non-numeric string value like ABC, it will give us an A value. So this is super common when importing CSV files. A numeric column might be stored as text, so it might give you an A value. The next mistake is forgetting quotes. Now I know that even if this value had quotes, it would give us the first error, that is an A value, since this is not a numeric value. But that's not the point. Without quotes, R thinks that ABC is a variable name, and since we never created it, R will throw us an error, which is object ABC not found. And the next and final mistake is converting mixed vectors. So if we have a vector that is just a collection of items as 10, 20, and then cat, as.numeric would convert the first two values, that is 10 and 20, since they are numeric values just wrapped inside quotes, but it would give us an A value for the third item, that is cat. So these are the basic mistakes that beginners must avoid. Now let's have a summary, or let's say a recap of today's topics. We learned about as.numeric, which converts character values into numeric values. Next, we learned about as.character, which converts numeric values into character values, and then we learned about as.logical, which converts values into logical values such as true and false. So we have our recap table right here, and you can take a look at it to have a recap of today's topics. And with that, we have successfully wrapped up episode 4. Today we learned about how to convert data from one type to another using many functions, namely 3 functions, that is as.numeric, as.character, and as.logical. I hope you liked the video and found it helpful. If you found the video helpful, please drop a like and make sure you subscribe to our channel for more such videos. In the next episode, we are going to be moving into one of the most important topics in R, that is vectors, and we'll study them in detail, so hope you don't miss that. And until then, bye bye and happy coding.